All right, everybody. Stamp of Approval, episode 11. I'm going to go back to saying it, the most scuffed podcast. Maybe not in the world, but certainly in the continental United States. So tonight we have a very special guest. Our first guest in a couple weeks, which is very exciting. He is a fellow streamer. He also does a lot of really interesting console repair streams, and just is a really charismatic and funny guy. So I don't want to waste any more time. So enough looking at this mug, and let's go ahead and get him on, shall we? So let me go ahead and give him a call, and we'll get this set up. Get it full screened here because streamer mode loves to block these things, and you also can't really see people's usernames all the time. So, not yet. I think you'll just have to manually turn on the camera, then you should be good to go. It's okay, dude. I already called it the most scuffed podcast in the world, so if scuffed things gotta happen, they just gotta happen. The actual phantom, the apparition would. I think you actually have to hit there's like the video camera icon, and it just says turn on camera, and then it'll let you select what device from that little drop down arrow. Yeah, I have to use OBS virtual camera, which is kind of a jank way of doing it, but gets the job done. Yeah, you actually showed that on one of your last streams, dude. You got webcams on deck. Dude, so did I. No, I'm a certified old man. I take a nap virtually every day after work, and unless I have my coffee directly after waking up, I'm just a whiny little bitch, I tell you. So I definitely got to have that stuff on deck. Man, we got to see if Blockbuster John is going to be here. My man said he's going to try to build up to a 30 streak. So if he's not here tonight, I'm going to have to send him a DM and just roast him personally. It just has to be done. Oh yeah, let me go and pin this message too. It's fine. So, what you can do in OBS, you could probably do the same thing I am, where it says underneath start streaming, there's start recording and start virtual cam. If you just click the settings gear next to start virtual camera, it'll let you select a source from OBS, and you can just pick your camera that way. And it'll basically just create like a broadcastable version of that source that you can then select in Discord. That's what I had to do because my colors get all screwed up if I have more than one app using my camera. It just like splits it into RGB, and it's so weird. I don't know why it doesn't. Unlocking the secrets. Oh, Elgato strikes again. God, everything that we do is just tainted by Elgato, dude. We're chilling, dude. No, we're chilling, dude. Listen, I can cut this out. I got you. Adobe Premiere, got you. Oh shit, let's go. That angle. Oh my god. You guys couldn't see that, but I was oh my god, dude. Why so close? The fisheye. Okay, let me set let me okay, let me this should be good now. It's ridiculously close. Every pixel. Oh, let's go. Clean. Clean. Look at the focal length. Look at the I don't even know what I'm saying. Matt's probably like, what an idiot. Dude, it looks so good. Why are iPhone cameras so busted good though? Yeah, just slightly out of focus, but outside of that, looks great. Clean. Let's go. Can't hear him? Oh. Let me see. Oh, I think it's no, I think that's me. I think it's how it's coming through. Let me fix that really quick. Listen, guys, we didn't earn the scuffed moniker overnight. It took some time. We had to work our way into this reputation. Look at that chap. For real, dude. Ooh, I know what it is.
I'm gonna zoom in so you can't see my dirty laundry.
All right,
Well, it's
now.
clean, but
Now you guys can definitely hear, right? He looks scary as hell. Whoa, she coming in with the spitting hot fire, wasting no time. All right, you guys able to hear him now? I see it registering on my OBS, so it should be fixed. Yep. Okay, awesome. All right, well, hey, you know, tech support issues aside, it happens. No big deal. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
good. I just woke up from a nap, so yeah.
Same. I fucking love naps.
Dude, I know. I feel like we're both kind of old men because I feel like I could sleep just anywhere, at any time, at a
Yeah,
party, falling
yeah.
asleep, don't care.
I mean, and I also just love the way I feel when I wake up from a nap too. You know, it's like that little bit of haze, but you also feel recharged after that disappears, and you just feel like you can take on the world, and then you usually don't. But
Yeah.
at least that's me.
Sometimes I get a little nippy, if
Yeah,
you
a
will.
little cranky. We all get a little
But
cranky.
yeah, otherwise, yeah, it's good. Sorry, I'm like messing with my
No, it looks good, dude. It looks good. You're good.
no
Well,
on my end.
well, yeah, man. Hey, I really appreciate you coming on. You know, it's been kind of a long time coming. We've been planning stuff behind the scenes, for lack of a better
Yeah.
term. And, you know, I know that you typically work on Wednesdays. So I just wanted to say, you know, I do appreciate you jumping on even after a work day. I know sometimes that can be annoying. And Blockbuster
Yeah,
John
man.
did the same thing. So,
Yeah. It's I'm I mean, that's how I usually stream anyway, so
yeah.
it works out. But yeah, in terms of getting like a schedule set up. That was the hardest part because they always work me Wednesdays. Or
Well,
have been.
um, so I guess one of the first things I wanted to ask you is, just tell everybody as if people in my stream don't know who you are. If you guys don't, by the way, check the pinned message. Drop him a follow for sure. But he's another streamer and he does some really awesome, different content, like console repair, which is really sick. I can't solder personally, so watching anybody that's good with a soldering iron is super impressive. But yeah, just if you want to just say just a quick little bit about the content you do and what type of stuff you do over on your channel.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not like ridiculous. I'm not doing anything weird. I mean, I just stream games. I'm a variety streamer. I don't should I look at the camera? I don't know how this works.
No, no, you're good. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, I'm Wood. Wood, 3 woods, because Wood is taken by an inactive account, Twitch. Yeah, I just stream a variety of games, primarily old games. Not necessarily the best games sometimes, but old games that are fun. And yeah, I fix consoles. It's one of my passions. It's just fun. I mean, I should say fixing loosely. Yeah. I have modded quite a few systems. I have fixed quite a few systems. I have broken quite a few systems, but yeah, I like taking apart, old electronic consoles and trying to fix them, give them new life, etc. Mess up sometimes,
Part of the process.
Silly fun time. Yeah, I did a lot more dressing up earlier on. I mean, I still have costumes and I will dress up again, but yeah, just for games, for fun. Nothing like weird. Not like,
not
like role playing or something. Yeah. But it's just, just having just dressing up for a character for a game that I'm excited about or like to play, etc. Stuff like that. So
yeah, man, that's awesome. And with the console repair, that's especially cool because a lot of the stuff you work on is like there's no chance in hell that like these consoles are still under warranty or anything. So the only chance we have at preservation in a lot of ways are people like you that are really into repairing them and just kind of get used to the layout and the wiring diagrams and different things like that. So it's really cool to see. Like I watched you repair Gummy Lotion's DS the other day. And,
yeah.
Like, for example, he caught that there was this flickering issue on the touchscreen and he just was like, oh yeah, there's this thing, on the back, there's like these pinholes you can use to calibrate it. Dude, I've owned DSs for like 8 years, had no clue that such a thing existed. So that was really cool.
Yeah. Stuff like that is always cool to like figure out because I mean, they had like different fail safes. Like the DS is actually pretty interesting because it's like a whole circuit. Like if you turn on the power button and it's not turning on, something inside the console is either not connected. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's broken. You just need to open it and make sure everything's plugged in right. But yeah, it's cool to see how different devices work, especially like, we're gamers. We like playing video games. So the consoles we played them on to see how they operate on like the base level, like hardware level is really cool to see. And then you kind of understand like, oh, this console from this generation does this, so this one might do the same thing in terms of reading CDs and stuff like that. And I think that's how like different mods are developed and stuff. So
yeah,
it's really neat.
Yeah, I've always heard that like Sony is really bad about using proprietary stuff. Like they love to use proprietary charging ports, like the Vita shape. Like what even the hell is that shape? I have no idea. And then they have like these ribbon cables everywhere. So
yeah, I hate working on PSP. Any Sony product is fucking awful to work on. There's not only is everything proprietary, so if something breaks, you pretty much have to find another broken Sony thing. But everything is so like different because there's 15 different models of like a PS2 or a PSP is one of the biggest ones because those always brick. Not always, but oftentimes when you're modding it, it'll brick because you just didn't do something right. So you have to get a new one. But this Sony 3000 is not the same as the other Sony 3000.
Yeah,
I've had many instances of that, and it's just very very annoying to deal with.
Yeah, I had a couple of PSP 3000s and they kept getting this weird banding on the screen, and I hear that that's super common. Like it gets these weird splotchy parts on the display, the original one, and now there's this mod out where like you can basically take a Chinese like phone display and you can it's basically not cut to size, but it's designed to fit or be able to retrofit inside of the case, and you can plug those in, which is really cool because it's so much higher quality.
Yeah, yeah, it's yeah, they didn't build a lot of those screens to last, and it's funny
Yeah.
you actually bring the phone thing because a lot of modded screens are actually just phone, like Android, BlackBerry
Yep.
screens. I think are used in a lot of like Game Boy mods. Uh, so yeah, it's really neat. Like just old technology. Like nobody's using fucking BlackBerry screens, but obviously
Yeah.
there are, I'm sure, a bunch made and a bunch still being made for cheaper phones. But yeah, it's really neat that some of the mods that you can do.
Yeah, that is awesome because I know that BlackBerry had this just a few years ago. They tried to make a comeback, because BlackBerry used to be the go-to like enterprise phone, like a lot of
Yeah,
businesses would give those out, and they had the
yeah, the
top
little
half of
ball.
it. Yeah, the top half of it had the touchscreen like a modern phone, and then it had the ball and the keypad. It
Yeah,
was a terrible
I think I
idea, but
remember
the
that.
screen
Yeah.
size was like perfect to just take it and put it into the handheld consoles, which it's like,
Mm.
so, well, the phone sucked, but at least we got some positive use out of it.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty cool. When I learned that, I was like, this is weird. What the hell? Who like how do you think that? You're like, oh, this BlackBerry phone looks like it kind of fits into a Game Boy naturally, so let's put it in there. I don't
Yeah,
know.
let's just
It's
shove it
weird.
inside the case and see what happens. Why not?
Yeah, it's weird how they yeah, I don't know how they figured that out.
Much
But
smarter people than I. That's how they figure
yeah,
it out.
for real. I just put them in there. I don't know about all the testing that figuring that kind of thing out, but it is super cool.
Yeah, man. Like I said, if you guys haven't seen those types of streams, I've seen him mod a GameCube. He did a video out mod for a GameCube. I've seen him repair a DS. I've seen him work on Sony handhelds. So really cool and really gives you some insight into the inner workings of these systems. How certain things are wired, how the video outputs work, and different things. So if you're ever curious or you're interested and you want to see those, definitely, like I said, drop him a follow to the pinned message. But going back a little bit, this is something that I love to get some insight because, Twitch is now, God, it's like it came out in 2011 officially. The domain was purchased and it as a standalone site existed in 2011. So, what were some of your first, when did you first hear kind of rumblings about live streaming or learning what live streaming is? When did that whole interest start?
So it's actually going like way back. So I had a really old computer, so I would play. I love Legend of Zelda, as I'm sure you know.
Mhm.
But I love Legend of Zelda, so I wasn't always the best at figuring out puzzles. So I followed this guide from a place called Zelda Dungeon, I think it is, ZeldaDungeon.net or something. Not to plug their website. I mean, it's just fucking Zelda. It's
Yeah.
Legend of Zelda, guys. It's not like whatever. But they used to have like videos, like YouTube videos and shit, and then they would always have announcements because it was like a live community
Mhm.
thing. Like there were like 20 people running the site, of course. But yeah, they started doing like a Zelda-thon where they just played through all the Zelda games. And at the time, I was like, dude, this is fucking sick,
Yeah.
And it was, I don't remember what year it was, but I was super young. I think like Twilight Princess on the Wii was still like very relevant. I think it was around the time probably Skyward Sword came out or something like that, or a little bit after,
Yeah.
like a year or two. So yeah, it was a while ago for sure. I don't remember the exact date, but that was the first, I think, introduction to Twitch. Because I do remember going in there and like chatting, and I was definitely one of the annoying kids that was just like, just like saying random, like, just
Yeah.
saying shit, and like not really making much sense because I'm like a child and don't understand. But yeah, so whenever that was, so a long time ago.
Dude, Zelda was so many people's introduction to streaming because, in She's episode, it was She's introduction to speedrunning Zelda, and
That's awesome. Yeah.
mine was, this dude named Swordless Link who was showing off glitches, and he linked this person named Saglemic who was speedrunning Super Mario 64. So,
Sick.
Zelda and Mario seemed to be like the big window that got a lot of people into live streaming or teaching us what
Yeah,
it is as kids.
that's actually wild. Yeah. I mean, they're classics for a reason.
Yeah, and
Everybody liked them.
Yeah, and then I think N64 was kind of the catalyst of speedrunning in general because, like, those websites, people don't realize, like, the Elite, which is a GoldenEye speedrunning community, that shit existed in, like, 1997. Like, a year
Yeah.
after the game came out, that website was established.
Yeah. It's crazy to see how, I mean, I guess since games were made, right? Like that's how long speedrunning has been around. Even like documented, of course, was
Mhm.
yeah, old. I mean, 19 whatever. Yeah, it's not. I mean, to us, it's like
Yeah,
this around
ancient
the time we were
history.
born, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a while ago.
Yeah, and there's also the Games Done Quick moniker was stolen from a Quake community moniker where they would
Oh,
all try
really?
to beat they would all try to beat Quake levels as quick as possible, and it was an event that they ran on a forum called Quake Done Quick. So they
Oh,
actually
wow.
borrowed that moniker, and the Games Done Quick or the GDQ brand still exists, and it's like the biggest thing in all
That's
of
crazy.
yeah, it's like one of the biggest things in all of gaming, I would say, as far as charity events go. So
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think if it wasn't for Zelda Dungeon, I think that would have been right. I'm pretty
mhm.
sure it was like a pipeline. Like I went from watching this Zelda marathon to watching, oh, this dude's speedrunning Zelda. What is that? And then like he beats it in an hour, and I'm like, this
Yeah.
is insane to me. This is preposterous.
Yeah, the Ocarina of Time glitches where you're like sliding after rolling into a bomb. I
Yeah.
remember seeing that video. This dude is breaking the game. He's ruining the magic of Zelda. This is bullshit.
Yeah. No, I was definitely impressed when I watched them, but yeah, sometimes I was like, ah, man, you kind of just skipped the game. Like it was definitely that like, you get into an argument where it's just like, speed running is like kind of silly because you don't get to experience the game. But it's like, dude, they've already played it. Like they're just
Yeah.
like doing this for fun.
Yeah, that's always a topic of conversation in the speedrunning community. It's like glitches, should they be allowed? What's considered a glitch? What's considered a bug?
Mhm.
Like I always felt like it was hilarious too cuz like some people would use the crooked cart as an excuse. It's like, oh, if you lift the cartridge up ever so slightly, you can like clip through walls and get in debug
Mhm.
menus and yeah, like that obviously should not be allowed.
Right. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, any physical world sort of manipulation like
Yeah.
that, yeah, it seems a bit silly. But
Well,
it's cool.
kind of
Exciting.
expanding on that, I guess another thing I should ask you is when did you decide I want to start streaming? You know, you're watching these Zelda streams and you're fascinated by 'em, much like I was. Just the idea of being able to broadcast gameplay live and seeing people chat was like mind blowing to me at the time. So, when did you
Yeah.
decide I want to give this a shot?
Um, I don't know. I know when. I want to say 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know why. I think it was just, you see somebody else doing something. It's like, that looks fun. I want to do it. I'm young. I could do whatever, you know.
Yeah, got time.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember my first streams. I know my first streams on this channel, but I had another one before it, and then I like didn't know how to. I don't think there was name changing on Twitch back in the day, so I had to make like a new one. Um, I don't know if it was League of Legends is what I first started streaming onto the first channel or something else, but this one I think it was like League, and then my buddy Austin and I was it around the time Black Ops 4 came out? I feel like there was a different game we played, but we played a lot of Black Ops 4, and I just like I during Black Ops 4 is when I was like, yeah, I'm a streamer. I'm gonna be doing this. I got a schedule.
Yeah.
It was just me and him playing the game for like hour. It was, not the craziest content. But yeah, I don't know why exactly. There was no like serious motivation. I think it was just like, oh, I saw this person doing it. Looks fun.
Yeah,
Let's
and
play games and record it.
it's funny you had mentioned League of Legends. That was kind of like the just chatting before that category existed because it's a free game and you could
Mhm.
just load into a match and people would just like click around in the spawn and then they would just do just chatting content essentially. But it's like
Yeah.
the part of the toss at the time was that you had to have a game on screen or someone would actually come into your stream and shut it down. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Twitch used to be like gaming only, right? It was
Yeah.
not like, yeah, you had to be very careful about not gaming. So, but yeah, obviously you could go around that. You could bend the rules or whatever.
Yeah.
For side skirt, everything. But yeah, I mean, I think at one point League was like one of the biggest games just because it was free and like anybody could download it if you had a computer. And yeah, it ran pretty much. I had like a shitty MacBook that would like overheat in 10 minutes and I could still run it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Like it was really old and like not the best hardware, but it could still run League of Legends. Yeah.
Oh, as far
yeah.
as as far as your time streaming, because I feel like everybody has this as a streamer, or even if you don't want to label yourself, I know I don't. I think calling yourself a streamer can be a little bit of a can of worms sometimes, depending on how
I'm a
you view
content
that
creator,
word,
man.
influencer, content creator,
I'm an
all the
influencer.
buzzwords. But
Yeah.
when did you start to feel like, wow, there's actually a community building around this, and this is really cool? Like, these regs are coming back every stream. They enjoy what I do, and you're seeing like the same names in chat. When did that momentum start to build?
There was one dude that would come around all the time when Austin and I started playing like Black Ops 4 and like doing that kind of shit. He was really weird, but I guess the actual feeling was one time I posted on Twitter. I was like, "Hey, I'm streaming Sonic Adventure 2." No. Yes, like this is when I started feeling my community.
Yeah.
So prior to this, there's a game called Death Garden. And this is how I got affiliate. There was a dude who rated me with just like 30 viewers or whatever. But at the time, I think I'd been streaming so long that Twitch was just like, "Hey, you're an affiliate now because you hit like a certain minimum." I think it might have been before they counted raids or didn't count raids in your average viewer count for milestones like that.
Yeah.
So this Death Garden game had like a community in itself, and I did a bunch of stuff with that. But I never really felt like people were there for like me per se, if that makes sense. Like they definitely were. I'm not trying to do my own, but I felt like I was a pretty good yeah. Death Garden creator. But it was just like more so like the people around the game, and not so like my character or anything. But then I posted on Twitter, and she actually was somebody that had followed me. Like we've been following each other forever, but I remember she joined, and I'm still hanging out with Austin or whatever. And then she kept coming back, and then slowly there were like other internet friends that would come in. I was never huge, but it felt nice having like, 4 or 5 people kind of hanging out at a time when you've been streaming for, I don't know, at that point it was probably like 3 years or like 2.5 years or something. So just me and Austin basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was the time where I felt, things started ramping up, and then took a break, and then we're back now. Things are pretty good part of a pretty good community, I'd say, right now.
Yeah, man, I was gonna say your community is first word I would use to describe it is hilarious. Your community is pumping out the memes at high volume. They're always hitting, they're always hilarious, and it's just always going. It's hilarious to be in there, and I think that's part of the fun is the game on Twitch is not always going to be the primary focus. Maybe it is if it's a first play and it's something that, you want to showcase the game to maybe people that haven't seen it before. But at the end of the day, the content is you. So if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it's going to eventually be apparent to the people that are watching. And that's one of the things that I notice when I watch you is you just always seem to be having a good time regardless of what the game is. So that fun, that look that you have and just how much fun you're having is just very infectious.
Thank you. Yeah. I always have noticed when I play, like, I'm very, I don't know, my emotions, when I don't like doing something, I'm like not into it at all whatsoever. Yeah. That's why I don't like chase meta games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like meta games. Everybody's playing whatever.
Battle Royale.
I like, actually think they're fun. Yeah. And I try not to stream things that are, I don't know, just not fun for me to broadcast, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a content creator, but like obviously if I'm online, is my camera lagging for you? Sorry.
Just a little, yeah. It just now started.
What's happening? Sorry. I can't. I'm like freaking out. Let me pull up the software.
We'll see him giggling in roughly 15 seconds when it catches up, dude. He looks so genuinely happy, though.
Let me finish this thought before I forget it. Was it saying content creator? I want to make sure like what I'm broadcasting isn't like just some shovel content, not to sound like rude or like, like everybody, there's niche for everybody. Everybody's got their own thing that they want to watch. But I want whatever I put out to be something I'm like proud of, if that makes sense. And I don't want it to be like super lame or whatever. Not that something's necessarily lame, but lame to me.
I totally get that. I see, and again, I hate saying this because I don't want to sound like I'm being critical of other streamers, but I know a lot of streamers who go through the motions a lot. They go live, they have their game of choice.
Dude, I don't know.
They go back, they play their game of choice. He's so happy, dude. And they're there for like 8 hours a day. A good example for me would be Dead by Daylight. I've talked about this before, but Dead by Daylight streamers, look, I love the game. I love watching the game, but so many of them seem so angry and miserable all the time, like in a very
Yes.
toxic manner. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, you guys have got to take a break from this game if it's that bad.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's fun sometimes. Is this working?
Yeah, I see a chord. I see a Death Adder. Let's go.
It's my Razor Death Adder.
When I'm raffle stomping newbies,
Dude.
as Bastion in Overwatch, I need the precision that only a Razer gaming mouse can give me.
Why is this fucked up? Here, we'll go to the last result.
Oh, sick. It worked like immediately. Why all the problems earlier? Why did this webcam just decide, you know what? I'm gonna work.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what the capture card is silly.
Jank as hell. Yeah. Trust me, I get it.
Fucking janky. It's the worst. And now this looks weird. What is wrong with this?
Hey, it looks sick, dude. Now you're blacked out like me. Let's go. We're so dark and brooding right now. You guys don't even know what's going on.
Light.
I wanted to be the one to fill your dark soul with light, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, anyways, enough Devil May Cry quotes. No, I totally get what you're saying about wanting to put something out there that you're proud of, because if you're just, kind of jumping on a trend and you're doing these streams, at the end of the stream or by the time you're done with it, it just feels like you did it to do it. It's like I put 4 hours in and I played a game. But I did it specifically because this is a popular game, and you may not even necessarily like the game. And when you finish those streams, I don't know how you feel, but when I finish those, I'm like, that had no substance to it. I'm not really happy with how that went.
Yeah, I feel like there's no character, there's no character to it. Like I'm not saying I come on here and I'm like some fucking character, but obviously I'm not when I stream, I'm not like saying these things in real life regularly.
Yeah.
Like I am who I am when I'm streaming, but it's not like, you act up a little bit, obviously, when you're on the camera. I'm trying to entertain.
You're in streamer mode.
Entertain people. I want people to have fun, I'm not like trying to, it does feel like soulless in a way.
Mm-hmm.
If it were just, whatever game is popular all of a sudden. Because some people enjoy it and it's great and they can make a fun time out of it. But sometimes, you can tell people are just there and they just have the cam on, and they're just doing the thing.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Steve Vai, the guitarist, and he actually has a very famous saying of like, people are a lot smarter and a lot more intuitive than you give them credit for. And I think it's very true about Twitch streamers or about Twitch viewers as well. If you're not engaged and you're not interested in what you're doing, it's blatant. I mean, it's plain as day when you watch, they're disengaged. They're like disassociating. They're just talking to talk. They got their playlist up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, even though variety content, so to speak, a lot of people have this stigma about it that it's really hard to grow with variety content because, unless you started a long time ago, it's usually harder to grow. But it's like, I feel like those streams have a lot more substance to them because it's what the person wants to play and they're having fun.
Yeah. I think just, like you said, they're just having fun. Because when you do variety stuff, you're doing essentially, I just do whatever the fuck I feel like I want to stream.
Yep.
I mean, it's different every day. Sometimes it's the same game for 3 weeks. Chibi Robo. I just streamed it and it was a fun fucking game. And I was like, this is great. I'm going to keep doing this. So yeah, I mean, as long as you're having fun with it, I think that's the biggest thing. It's just,
Yeah, that's one of the most.
Who you are.
It's so easy to forget that, dude. No, you're totally fine. It's so easy to forget that, I feel like, because, once you go into the motions, and sometimes when people become a partner, especially, they feel obligated to just do hours. And, you got to remember at the end of the day, like, this is supposed to be fun. You're not here just to fill in a stat sheet and say, oh, I did X amount of hours this month. Like, I was here to have fun and entertain people. And sometimes that's really easy to forget.
Yeah. Sorry. I want this. I'm very you.
Oh, it's fine, dude.
This is why I like you. When I first rated you. Sorry, I agree with your point because yes, I definitely. I don't know a lot of partnered people personally, but I hear it through the grapevine. And yes, it is very much stats driven. Of course, it's especially if you're making a livelihood on Twitch, you have to look at stats. But at the same time, it's like sometimes content does get watered down here and there from chasing stats, especially with
Yeah.
not playing games you want to play necessarily, or you're just live to be live, whatever. Which is like, dude, take a break. It's cool, man. You don't gotta
Yeah.
be live today. Like if you're not feeling it, it's cool.
Yeah, because
But,
if
some people,
you put that out there and people are gonna see it and they're like, this, he obviously doesn't care about this 999th game of PUBG that he's playing tonight. Like he's
Yeah.
just doing it to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was gonna say this is why I like when I first started watching, I was like, dude, this guy fucking knows quality streaming. It's great. Like, not to like try and gas you up, but because I'm trying to fix my webcam,
Yeah.
and it's just Discord that's fucking up. So, is it messing up on your end? Because it looks like my stream capture is good for both of us.
No, it looks
Okay.
perfect on my end. No problems at all.
Sweet.
Hopefully, I don't know if it was like a heating issue why it started to lag earlier, but it looks totally fine now. So
I don't know.
we're good.
Yeah, it's like it was stuttering on my screen, but it's fine if it's good everywhere else.
But no, I know you're not. I know you're not trying to gas me up, but I do appreciate that. My path was like opposite of yours. Like I focused on quality before content, and I almost forgot to have fun because I was like one of those people that was just so obsessed with making sure it looked and sounded good that I forgot to like have fun. I was like, that's crucial, isn't it?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I'm actually getting like flashbacks in my brain. I used to watch a lot of old Tyler One. I don't know if you watched him back in the day, but all his shit was just so scuffed.
Yes.
So I try to like emulate that during the Death Garden time, and some of my scenes back in the day were super fucking like the whole screen. It was like the tiniest webcam in the corner, and then it was just like fucking shitty memes and dumb bullshit all over the screen. Yeah, so I definitely tried to have a scuffed stream, and then now it's I like where I'm at. It's not like I'm not like over the top. I don't have LEDs and shit all over my webcam. Not that I'm not saying it's a problem, but I'm just saying
the custom neon signs.
Yeah, my layout's very, very simple, and I'm happy with it. And it's not nearly as scuffed as it used to be.
Yeah, because
still, got an error.
I mean, at the end, content is king, and you look at someone like XQC, they have like 2 scenes. Just chatting, gameplay. He manually moves the camera around, no drop shadow, nothing, no borders, no shapes. And Kai Cenat's the same way. He's got this super crusty Razer keyboard, Death Adder, and a Blue Yeti just sitting on his desk, not even on a boom arm. I mean, it's so scuffed.
And it's like on one of those like fold out picnic tables or whatever sometimes. Yeah, I've seen those shit, the setups from time to time. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, what the, like, you make hand over fist in money. Just please buy it. At least an IKEA desk, dude.
Let Mr. Beast come in and give you a makeover, dude. Come on. Right. Whole content makeover.
Content makeover, yeah.
So I mean, we have talked a lot about Twitch and community building, but I actually kind of also wanted to ask you about your career path, because this is one of the most interesting things, and what I love learning about other people is kind of how they got to where they are as far as their career and their professional endeavors. So I know you mentioned that you're super into console repair. How closely related is that to what you do for your day job?
God, hold on, my alert's going. It's supposed to be off. Why is it playing?
Someone said they wanted to summon the imps. I'm assuming there's spam occurring right now.
No, wait, it's a raid. Thank you for the raid. I'm sorry. Why is the whole alert playing? Sorry.
Listen, dude, it's Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong.
I know, right? All right. No, it's playing again. Hold on, I got to figure this out before we continue. Dude, the most scuffed podcast on Twitch. Talk about scuffed.
I didn't earn that overnight, dude. It took some time.
I'm glad I can add to it. I know you can't hear it, but it's, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. Why is this playing? Okay, I think I fixed it. That was bizarre. What were you saying? Career path?
Yeah. I was saying, how closely related is the console repair that you're interested in? How closely related is that to what you do in your day job?
I mean, kind of close. I mean, not really. Not console repair isn't close. The knowledge of gaming systems and just games as a whole is fairly closely related. So I work at a record store that also has games, books, movies, obviously music, and then other miscellaneous electronics, whatever. So yeah, knowing games as much as I do, I can actually like nerd out and be like, oh yeah, but you can do whatever, and no, this is how you fix your Wii. Oh, I've had that problem. Just buy a battery or something, And we get like consoles that are broken, and I can just fix them because I can go on Google and have a soldering iron. So yeah, I wouldn't say working at the record store is where I'm going to stay, but I don't really have anything planned for my future right now. And it's fun. I get to see cool shit like, dude, I have a Tamagotchi clock that I got from there.
Oh,
Like,
the throwback.
have you ever seen this shit in
I've
your
never
life?
seen it.
I've
No.
never seen it. It's fucking sick. So yeah, there's like things like that are just cool to see. But yeah, and it's not like a horrible work environment. I've worked in like fucking soul sucking job. Like I worked at a collections agency for Discover Card.
Oh, that sounds like
just cold.
A blast. Yeah.
Yeah, just cold calling people. The last month I worked there, I didn't make a single call, and I just listened to podcasts all day. And they're like, "Your numbers are down," and I was like, "I don't know, just people aren't picking up. I don't know. It's way
How'd that happen?
Yeah.
Who would have
Anyway,
thought, dude?
quit. So yeah, it was a whole thing. So
Yeah.
It's slightly related, but not too much, I wouldn't say.
I think that's a great point that you just brought up. You don't a lot of people are very career focused, and I feel like sometimes people will put these arbitrary limits on themselves. Like by 25, I want to have X, Y, and Z done. And I think, just not to get into an economic discussion, certainly not. But, I think just with the way things are nowadays, though that just kind of has gone out the window. I think it's more important now to focus on just being happy and comfortable in the work that you do, and not stressing yourself into oblivion and like jacking your cortisol levels up or whatever with your job.
Yeah, definitely. I worked family entertainment businesses. I worked in that, basically. Is a broad way to put it. I worked at a roller skating rink. Was my first job when I was 18, because I was like, I don't want a fucking job. I want to hang out and play video games. So I waited till I was 18, obviously, when you have to like actually do some shit,
Yeah.
But I worked at a roller skating rink. It was fucking awful. I remember one day I quit because my boss like shoved me out of the way one time, and I was like, bro, what the like, it is not that serious. It's a roller skating rink. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
I went back eventually, but that's a different story. But then I went to Discover, and then I worked at a trampoline park. And family entertainment, I don't know what it is about that. It's like the worst. It's probably the best first job in terms of like learning like how shitty a job can be.
Yep.
And like sense of urgency and shit like that. If you're kind of like a sheep, to be honest. No offense to myself or anybody that works hard at their job.
From back then. Yeah.
But like I was like, dude, I was fucking working way too hard for this guy, and I'm like, I don't know. I think it's just the type of person I am. But and then I worked at a trampoline park, and that was not any better, really. Dealing with people's kids, dealing with families, it's not very fun. Sure, Casey can attest to that. She works at a fucking pool with rich parents and shit. So I'd say this rinky dink record store with a bunch of like nerds really is definitely way better than anything else. And honestly, I make just as much, because family entertainment, they're like always losing money or some shit. I don't know what the fuck.
They can't justify paying, especially with the pandemic. Like, I'm sure those places weren't like, full to the brim. They weren't at max capacity during the pandemic. That's for sure.
Dude, no. Yeah. I'm not glad I worked. They're lucky. The trampoline park was in like a richer neighborhood. So they're lucky because they could be like, oh, like here's $1,000. You can have a private playtime in the trampoline park during COVID. And I had to run those, and it was the most boring shit ever. Yeah. I was just like, all right, we're going to the next spot. Let's keep jumping on a trampoline somewhere else in the building.
Yeah, let's wrap this up.
Yeah, get out of here. I'm fucking trying to leave. Yeah, and then I get paid fucking, I don't know, I think it was like $16 at the time an hour.
Yeah.
It was ass. It was very ass.
Yeah, a lot of people go either the fast food or the retail route. So I do agree with you. Like, I think it's important to get a job that teaches you how shitty the workforce can be, because once you learn that from the outset, you can really define what you want and what you're comfortable doing and not doing for 8 hours a day, which is super, super important.
Yeah, and you can kind of, getting into jobs, you can kind of see like, okay, this certain thing is happening just like it did at my shitty old job. Maybe this isn't the best workplace. So
called the job market for a reason, man. If the responsibility and the pay are not in alignment, you got to get up out of there. It's just how it is.
Yep. There are plenty more jobs. Maybe we don't got to get into that, but I don't. There's weird stuff happening with jobs right now for sure. But yeah, there are other jobs. So do not take any like harassment or whatever is going on in your workplace.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just leave. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But job market is a real, it exists for a reason. Unless you signed a contract and this person like owns your soul for X amount of years and you have to put up with it, you're good, dude. Like, just start putting in apps and you can get up out of there if you have to. So
yeah. That's why I'm glad. I think I don't know how it is in a lot of other states because I just don't look. I don't look at others. I don't look at laws. I don't know. Yeah,
you don't spend time researching such things.
Yeah, that's gospel stuff. I live in Arizona. But yeah, it's a right to work state. So you could just fucking leave and somebody could fire you for like almost anything, really. As long as it's within they're like, I don't have a leg. You can't fire me because I don't have a leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah. As long as it doesn't violate federal law, they can find something in the employment contract or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A nice one from the entertainment business is you're just not a fit. It's like, what the fuck does that like? All right, dude. It's like, what the hell?
Dude, I've heard that so much. Yeah.
It's so dumb.
Like they're like, we have a culture here and I'm just not feeling the vibe. Not, it's just not. Like,
dude, just say I suck at my job. Like, just cut it straight with me,
Yeah. Well, about your current job, since, you have talked about the atmosphere being enjoyable and it's something that you can relax and just kind of be comfortable doing it. Is there anything about this position or this type of work, if you're customer facing especially, that people may not take into consideration about it?
There's a lot of fucking weird people. Just customers in general.
Yeah.
I think it's surprising when you're dealing with like families. It's a little different because it's like, okay, maybe the person's like stressed, but seeing like individual people come into my work and just being like, they look like normal people, but they don't act like normal people. Like they just are very, very strange in how they talk to people and interact. And I'm surprised how many because it's like kind of local. It's like a local-ish spot. Like it's kind of small. It's like established. It's been open since like the 80s, so it's like established. But it's like, people are like, I've been in here years, and it's kind of local. But it's surprising to see just how many weird people are just around and like alive. You know what I mean? Like not like, I'm not trying to be mean, but like they're not normal. Like they're just not normal people. Like they just don't. I'm like, I'm pretty normal. I'm weird, but I'm like normal.
Yeah,
and they're like beyond.
I think the perfect term is like socially calibrated, I guess. Like you wouldn't want to say they're abnormal in the sense of like, I wouldn't say that either. Not abnormal in the sense that like they're just not right, but like they're just not socially aware of certain things. Because we used to have a comic book store in my hometown, and it was the same deal. Like I knew the guy that ran it every day. He's like, dude, this complete weirdo came in today, and he would tell us these horror stories about like this person came in demanding money, or like they wanted a certain amount of money for their stuff that they're trading in, and they wouldn't take no for an answer. It's like they just don't. They're not aware of like how to treat those situations socially. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, socially calibrated is a good way to put it. Yeah, and maybe it is like the niche because it is. I don't know, but music, everybody listens to music. It's not.
Yeah.
You gotta be a weird nerd to like music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Austin actually said graveyard shifts in retail. You get to meet the most unhinged people on the planet. Did that at Walmart. So did I. And my God, did I meet some incredibly unhinged people, meth heads. We don't have to get into that, but. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unhinged.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Yeah, especially the what is it like? What are the daywalkers? Not right?
Skinwalkers.
Night walkers, right? Yeah, something like that. They must be. They gotta be. They ran out of humans. They had to go to Walmart at fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah.
For something.
Yeah, man. We had a guy that would always put his stash. I don't know what he was selling, but it was some kind of drug dealer who would always go into our lawn and garden section and put them in one of the display grills. And we would literally just watch him do it. And it got to the point where we got so tired of calling the cops that we would just have them waiting. As soon as we saw him in the store, we'd just be like, yeah, go over to the grills and just hang out, the security guard. And he'd just sit there waiting for him to put them under arrest. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Right. It's especially if they're regular. Like, what the fuck? You're a
Yeah.
regular just doing that? What the
Yeah.
fuck? Are you dumb? Yes. But yeah, that's bizarre. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of crackheads around my work, but it's nothing like necessarily bad. You know? They're weird. They steal shit. I mean, which sucks because it's like a local business. But again, I mean, people steal all the fucking time.
Do you guys have that? Do you guys have that policy where you can't physically stop people?
Yes. Yes. You can't like walk out. I mean, I could like step in front and be like, "Hey, you're literally stealing." But if they like move me, I can't, like I can't like fight somebody. And I'm not gonna fight somebody over I don't care how expensive it is.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna be like disgruntled and be like, "Oh, I can't believe they stole that." But then at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Like not
worth your life, dude. Because you don't know what they might have.
Life. Yeah, there was one instance, there was a dude there was a guy like stealing fucking stacks of vinyl. Like I'm talking like fucking stacks, dude, multiple times from multiple stores. They finally caught him. But I remember, my boss like actually tried to like shove him and stop. It was like a whole thing. But yeah, he just kept coming back. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like they caught him. They didn't get any of the vinyl, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's not worth it. Especially, on my level. I'm just a normal manager.
And dude, even if you own the place, like if someone comes in and even if I own a place and someone comes in, they point a gun at me, they're like, give me the money in the register. Like you're getting the money in the register within 2 seconds. I'm not taking a bullet for the money that's in this register. It's not worth it.
Right. Yeah. There's never like a lot of money in registers. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like $200, $300 sometimes just so you guys have change usually. Yeah.
I feel like anybody who's going to steal from a store like that needs to like work the job first and be like, all right, is it even profitable? Like, should I go to jail over $200? Like, is it that worth it? No, never. I don't understand. So, yeah.
Yeah, you kind of actually touched on that, but outside of this, the vinyl stealer, was there any specific crazy stories or experiences from either this job or a prior one that just had your mind like broken? Because I've had those before. You're just like, how is this occurring right now?
I can't really remember anything from previous jobs. There was one guy at the trampoline park. It's like, these are like sad stories. They're like kind of fucked up. Not like fucked up, but it's like, I don't know. But this one, like, it was sad. Like this girl was just jumping on a trampoline and we closed at a certain time or whatever. Or I don't remember how it was. I think he paid for like a couple hours at a time or something like that. So the dad came in with her and paid like X amount of dollars for X amount of time. And then after her time was up, we were like, hey, like, all right, get the fuck off of our trampolines. We were like trying to find her dad because, I mean, people just use it as a daycare. That's the other thing. Families, they don't give a fuck. They're like cheap daycare. I get it. Daycare's like $20K or something now. I heard that. I was like,
it's a ripoff, dude.
It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? $20,000?
Yeah.
Fuck no. But yeah, then they would drop them off and then, we'd have to call every so often. It's whatever. Not new to this. But yeah, it was like getting later and later, and we were like, where's your dad? Like, it's 2 hours past your time. Like, tried calling him, nothing happened. She's like, I don't know. And then I was working with whatever cashier, like, noticed that their car was still in the parking lot. So I remember I like went out and I was like, hey, your kid's inside my building. And he was just like asleep at the thing. And I was like, I don't know if you're like just a really tired single dad or you're like doing drugs. Because when he came in, sorry, I forgot to mention, when he came in, he was just kind of not there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, damn, dude, that's sad.
It is,
And I was like, are you gonna drive? Like, I just asked him, I was like, dude, I don't want you to like fucking crash and like kill you and your kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, there wasn't anything recent. Oh, a dude sent flowers to one of my coworkers, like, without really saying his name. And it was really weird.
Dear God.
Like, he had a different number in our system for like customers because you get like an account and you can do shit with it, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a box of flowers addressed to my coworker's name, and then the last name is Gorgeous because obviously he didn't know her fucking last name.
Oh, Jesus.
And we opened it and there was a letter and it's like, you want to go on a date this weekend with his number? And we type in his number, we don't see anything. So that was like last week. So we think he might be like cheating on his wife or something, because why do you have two numbers? That's so fucking weird.
Yeah, that's a big red flag in and of itself.
Yeah. But yeah, nothing too crazy. One of my other old coworkers stopped like a crackhead outside the store from like having a heart attack or something, or like almost dying. It was wild, but I
Jesus.
wasn't there for that, so it wasn't as cool. But yeah, nothing too wild, surprisingly,
So
that I witnessed.
Austin was demanding that I ask you about someone who worked there lighting helium balloons on fire in a party room. Do you remember this? I'm sure you do, based on your reaction.
Yes. So I had an old boss at the trampoline park. This place was fucked up. This dude.
Yeah.
So he was like 26, 25 at the time. I don't remember.
That's special.
Somewhere around there. So I was like probably 22, 23. But he's like one of those people that never got out of his like high school / jock phase or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like pretty well built. He was kind of shorter. No offense. I'm just saying it adds to him having like short man syndrome. Like something in his brain, he was just like way too overly confident about shit and like took shit like way too seriously in terms of I want to be in power. I'm whatever.
Yeah.
So he was like the operations manager, which can I just say I fucking hate the like sub genre of manager.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Operations whatever head man, I don't know.
Yeah, there's like operations, executive managers, team managers, team leads.
Yeah, it's like we gotta think of a new name. I don't know what the fuck. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so he was like above me. And yeah, we did like birthday party. You do any family entertainment, you fucking do birthday parties.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we did birthday parties, and yeah, people left balloons, and I remember he like was taking like the foil, you know, helium balloons and like lighting them on fire and like blowing them up. And I was like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Like you get paid way more than me and you're older than me and you're like lighting these balloons on fire in an enclosed room in this building right now. Fucking, he was a trip. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. He ended up just being like really weird with like a 16-year-old worker.
Oh, Jesus.
Like he was like, it wasn't anything like hyper explicit. He didn't send dick pics. Yeah. But he was definitely just like licking his lips in a Snapchat story and like
being weird.
Hard.
Yeah.
And I was like, And I remember once this happened, like I contacted my boss, I was like, yo, dude, everybody hated this guy, first of all. So I was like, any chance to get this motherfucker out of here. And I was like, I'm gonna take the spot, right? I don't know. Ended up not working. Obviously, I fucking hated that job. But yeah, I talked to my boss and I was like, hey, here's literal video from the person that said they sent it to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking get this guy out of here. So he went on suspension and then he came back. And then none of the workers were happy because everybody knew. I worked with a bunch of like high schoolers, you know what I mean? It's like, again, an entry level job. So fucking everything spreads like wildfire. And then, we got him kicked out. And then I didn't have to go to a dinner, but when he came back, he was like, we should talk about this. And I was like, yeah, we should. And I was like, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? You're like weird, dude. Like what? And he's like, nah, man. She was like coming on to me. And I was like, dude, she's 16. What are you? You're like 25.
You literally,
what are you saying?
You literally see, it's not hard, guys. You literally see the age and you go, oh, okay, block.
Yeah.
Immediately cease communications. Why is this so hard?
Yeah, it was fucking weird. And I was like, dude, he never got out of that high school senior thing. Like when he would tell me stories about like his sex life, like I cared. And I was like, dude, I don't need to know this.
Dude, that is so accurate what you just said. Some people, it's like they do their senior year of high school and they just never mature beyond that. Like I still know people that are like my age because I'm pushing 30. I'm 29, but I know people that are my age and they're like and they're like
27 following up, you know?
They're talking exactly like they did in high school. They're talking about their sex life and all this stuff. I'm like, I thought that we kind of established that this is not something that you should just be throwing out there like that or whatever. But like, it just
you're like unprovoked. You're like, I don't want to start a conversation like this, dude.
Like, what am I supposed to say? Congratulations. Like, I don't know you like that. I'm not going to be, excited about the fact that you're doing that. But
yeah, it is. It's fucking weird. And I guess, they're just, what did you say? Socially oriented. They're not socially oriented.
Yeah, they're not socially calibrated in a lot of ways. Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. And You know, that the only thing I could think of when you're talking about that guy setting balloons on fire, it's like he was trying to do a real life Joker thing where he's like, I'm just so edgy. And maybe he has that weird thing where like, cause there's a lot of people that are like closet arsonists. I tell you, dude.
Probably. Yeah, probably. He was definitely like, I think it was, yeah, he just never got out of that. And he was like fit. So I think he just had that, like, I can just do whatever because I'm a fit guy and I hook up with girls on the weekends. And it's like,
Yeah.
You can't do it. You're like 25, dude.
The fuckboy stereotype.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he's just a fuckboy. Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I was like, you got to get out of this, man. It's like, it's funny a little bit, but if it's all your personality, dude,
yeah,
take it off. Go to therapy or something.
For real. So, I mean, that's kind of like the lowest possible, or not the lowest, but that's kind of like the worst possible coworker to interact with is the one that's doing really questionable shit and like you're not comfortable around them. But what are your favorite types of coworkers? You know, who's the ones that make you excited to come into work, or like, you know, that you're going to be doing a shift with them and it's like, this is going to be sick?
Yeah, not to sound conceited, but ones that are literally me, where they get the job done. Like they go there. Nobody likes going to work, dude. Nope. I'm sorry. Unless you're like doing something that you love. Like, okay, I'm an artist. I paint for a living. Like that's sick. I'm an actor. I act for a living. You know, shit like that. Obviously, like if you're in a career path that you love, yes, you will love going to work. If I'm working at fucking a record store and my passion isn't selling records, like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like no offense, I don't like the 40-hour work week. I know, and I learned about this. I guess Henry Ford, I don't know if you knew it. We used to be working 60 hours in the fucking factories, dude.
Yep.
If Henry Ford didn't come around, I don't know. I saw this on TikTok. Matter of fact, scratch that. I don't know if that's true because I saw it on TikTok.
You don't want to give him credit.
I didn't back that up. I didn't look it up other than a TikTok.
Listen, the opinions of wuudwuudwuud do not reflect the opinions of Stamp of Approval. I would just like to say he threw a TikTok fact out there. It might have even been just a factoid. We don't even know if it was a fact. It might have just been a factoid.
Top 10 facts ever. But no, but I don't like working all the time. But nobody likes working. But if you can go to work and you get your fucking job done and you don't inconvenience others, and you're silly, you don't really take it too seriously, but obviously seriously enough when it needs to be. Like that's the coworker I like. Ones that you can like joke around with, just fucking like vibe through the work shift. Like they're not like too serious. You know what I mean? I guess just down to earth people, normal people.
Yeah, man. You know, there's this concept of like work husband and work wife. And while I think the terms are cringy, I kind of had that situation too, because I used to work at a university doing IT, and dude, it was a nightmare. Every weekend morning was like all these people who had been sitting on these issues on late Friday, and they were waiting to call in. We knew it was going to be hell, but it was just like me and her just kind of got there, got our shit done, and then we just spent the rest of the day just talking about life and stuff. And I 100% agree. Like, just chill people that are just there to get the work done, and then once it's done, you can just open up and just, you don't have to feel like I'm at work. You can kind of blur the lines and just be yourself. It's really cool.
Yeah, like I guess just like a friend, right?
Yeah.
Just a normal friend at your workplace. Yeah, it's always good. So,
yeah, I always talk about, I've had this conversation like 4 times on the podcast solo episodes, but I always talk about like you do still have to be careful though, because like coworkers will not back you up when the chips are down. And it's understandable because they have to look out for themselves. So if it's a situation where like disciplinary action may occur if they don't back you up, typically they're not going to back you up. So while it is cool, to have someone that you can be open with and talk to at work, you do still have to like keep them at arm's length in a sense, because you just never know what they may do if you need them to back you up. They may not be there.
Yeah. I'm not telling anybody my deepest, darkest secrets on the clock for sure. So and you try to act in your best behavior, I guess. Yeah, because it's still a work environment, but yeah, if you can be a little more relaxed. That's why this place is. I've kind of been the same in every like job space. I'm just kind of, I'm a manager, but like, dude, I can just check dollar bills and I count the money. Like, I'm not any better than anybody else working with me. You know what I mean? And I kind of try to make that known. Like, obviously don't make decisions that are manager decisions or whatever.
Executive decisions or whatever word they want to attribute to it. Yeah.
Yeah. You can't cut deals with anybody. I can, but yeah, anything else, it's like, just be chill, just hang out, It's not that serious. Like, we're all gonna leave in 8 hours. Like, don't anything that happens within that 8 hours, unless it's something very severe. Like, don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, those are the best types of managers, to be honest with you. The ones I always had the most respect for managers that got their hands dirty and they leveled with us and they were just down to earth. You know, if they notice that we're short staffed, they jump in and they run the register for a while, or they run the front desk, and those were just always the best people to work for, because that positivity and that drive to actually get the job done was really infectious, and the rest of the team would kind of follow suit, and that just created a really effective and positive work environment.
Yeah, I feel like it's not said enough for sure, but yeah, I do agree. Yeah, because I mean, yeah, I think that's part of the reason I am the way I am is from watching my manager, like at this place, watching him do his shit and trying to like replicate it in a way, because he's very just like, I don't like. One of my coworkers was just freaking the fuck out over some dude being around his car, and he's like, "Yeah, hey man, it's all right. If anything happens, we'll handle it, but don't worry about it." And then it just cooled him down. And I was like, "How the fuck? Did you just like put like a spell on this guy? What are you doing?"
Yeah,
so,
dude, some people
he's very chill, but
I love that, because some people have that magnetism. You know, they just have this vibe. You could be stressed out, but when you see somebody else, it's just like, dude, it's fine. And then you hear that, your brain is like, you know what? It is fine. It's not that big of a deal. Why am I freaking out about this? So it is definitely good to get, you know, somebody on the outside. And if someone's in a managerial position, it's even better, because, you know, reducing those cortisol levels, reducing the workplace stress is always one of the key things that managers sometimes can forget.
Yeah. Your workers' vibes definitely affect yours and the customers. And I'm not trying to be like this is how you run a business, but like, dude, fucking just be chill, be nice. Like, I don't understand these fucking big companies that are like, you see headlines and they're like, this is the worst company ever, fucking, but they're quadrillionaires. And it's like, what the how? What are you, like, why are people working for you? I don't get it.
It's like they always say, keep it stupid simple. If you've lost sight of the simple aspects of what makes a work environment fun, what makes it inviting, what makes it welcoming, then you're not going to succeed as a company. You could grow to be a Fortune 500 company, top 10 in the world, but if you don't have the baseline atmosphere, everybody's going to be leaving negative, like, Glassdoor reviews, and when someone goes to do research about your company, it's not going to be positive. So you have to establish that.
Yeah. So any future entrepreneurs, keep that in mind.
Listen.
Vibe check your workers.
Now, those opinions do reflect the opinions of Stamp of Approval. Now, the factoid from earlier, I'm not going to comment on such a thing.
I got to do some more research on Wikipedia.
Yeah, dude. I'll get on TikTok and I'll scroll a little bit, and if I learn anything, I'll. But yeah,
dude, I'm notorious for that. It's bad.
Dude, TikTok scrolling is it's so brain rot. It's so real. Like, we hear about these iPad kids, but I've seen parents literally recording videos of their kid playing a game on their iPad with their phone, like on a kickstand to the right, scrolling a TikTok. When the TikTok is over, they move from the game and they scroll. Hours and hours and hours spent doing this.
It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. And it's definitely like, motherfuckers, I swear to God, I've seen this comparison between us playing games as kids and like that. And like, it's so much different. I'm sorry. It is.
It is way different. And you were talking about not free daycare, but cheaper daycare. And I swear, some parents back in my generation, the Xbox was the babysitter. They're like, Call of Duty? Modern Warfare 2? Oh, damn, little Johnny can play this all day.
Yeah, he'll be on that all day. We don't got to worry about him. Yeah.
Yeah. It's even worse now because, dude, I really feel for parents nowadays. I don't know if anybody in chat is a parent, but my God, like, you have to keep your head on a swivel because kids know how to like circumvent the parental locks now. Like they're all teaching each other how to do it on TikTok, and they're all going onto the questionable websites, like the shock sites and stuff, and just seeing a whole bunch of stuff that kids should not be seeing. So I feel for any parents nowadays, now that kids are getting so tech savvy, because you really, really need to be involved more than ever before.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw, I think it's like the generation after me or whatever is like a little, like there's one generation after us that's like tech illiterate now. Yeah. Like they're like old people tech illiterate because it just how advanced it got. And then they didn't really like learn anything. And they're just like, iPhone. I don't know computer. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if I saw that one on TikTok. It might have been a different website, but that's something to look up maybe. for somebody curious.
Yeah, and that's a good point too. Is somebody was actually saying, Apple is almost to blame for that illiteracy, because there are still people even my age, I don't know what mine is, Generation Y or whatever, but late 94, whatever that qualifies as.
Yeah, if it does, I think because I'm 96, I think we're in the same thing, and I don't think it's a very cool sounding one.
Yeah, it's not a buzzword because nobody says it.
Yeah, it's not like Generation X, it's like something like dumb. I don't know.
But yeah, that's the thing, is like somebody was saying Apple is to blame for that, because they've made things so stupid simple of just like, if it doesn't work, you go to the Genius bar at their stores, right? Or you set an appointment.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like it's so ludicrously simplified that it actually has reduced people's want or need to troubleshoot things on their own. And they're not very self-sufficient in that way, because they've just made things so easy to use.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably why I don't know. I've always had this like DIY whatever. If I can figure out the problem from Googling it and doing it myself, I'd rather do that than go to some fucking tech wizard at, at fucking Apple or whatever. I'm like, how do I fix my phone from freezing after 15 seconds of use?
Yeah.
And then, I believe it. I think Apple's, they've tried to like streamline everything into being fluid with everything else, but yeah, it might have been just too oversimplified, and now nobody knows how to fucking use anything.
Yeah, I said, before we were kind of talking, before the episode actually started, that I didn't want to go too heavily handed into conspiracies, but, it's kind of wild to me that Apple has a database of not only like hundreds of millions of fingerprints, but now hundreds of millions of extremely high resolution faces. Like, dude,
look at this camera, dude.
Exactly. Are you
kidding me?
Yeah, and you could go all the way back to like an iPhone 5 and use it as a webcam, and it's going to be like significantly better than any webcam on the market, because there's just so much R&D that goes into phone cameras. Dude, if they ever got a data breach,
when you think about it, but yeah,
fuck yeah, if they ever got a data breach, it's over, dude. Like the deep fakes are it's over,
dude. My face on a stunning bodacious babe. It's over.
Dude, it's and the crazy part is streamers, maybe unbeknownst to them, or maybe they are aware, they're like target number one, because anybody who's got high resolution video of their face and voice, that's deep fake material right there. I mean, look at this Sora thing. It came out just a couple days ago, like this insanely accurate AI video. Yeah.
It's scary. It's scary stupid, because I was thinking, it's like back in the day, you'd be like, oh, if there was no video, because you could obviously Photoshop a video, but you could really tell. Sora, you could still tell certain things, but it's still pretty fucking good. Like, you could make some fucked up shit. Like, that's Metal Gear Solid 2. Fucking, again, where True. We, met you. It's like, AI is fucking scary. You can tell now, but shit, another year, because there were fucking shitty video AIs a year ago, and now it's like good. So one more year, it's like shit.
And we were in the information age from like the mid 80s until now, and now it's like the misinformation age. Like, it's going to be tougher to parse what is misinformation and what was falsely generated. And someone was saying this the other day. They're like, the scary part is not what someone can accuse you of. The scary part is that something that's legitimately an alibi for you could be thrown out in court because they think that it's AI generated. So the thing that could keep you out of jail might be considered misinfo here soon. That's what's most crazy.
Yeah, it's very scary. I try not to think about it too much, but it is. It can be used for good.
True.
AI can be used for good things, of course. Obviously, there's two sides to every coin, but you gotta obviously focus on the more scary shit, because it's like, it's scary. I don't want that to happen. Yeah, I don't want to get accused. I don't want a video of me murdering somebody and I was actually playing video games all night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Matt says wood face on the Drake leak. Okay. Oh, dude, that's the one thing you wouldn't mind to be attached to, though, right?
Dude, I saw that. It was not that good video quality. I don't
know. No, it was like 2 pixels. I was like, what is this? It took me like a second to comprehend. I was like, what is that? Oh, dear God.
Yeah, I was like, this is not filmed on iPhone. There's no way. Somebody's lying. Somebody's lying. Basically
wearing their skins. Fracky said the tech is still the worst it's ever going to be, too. Yeah, it's like in beta stages right now, dude. That's the crazy part. Like, what's it going to be like in 5 years? Like, how are we even going to determine what is and isn't AI generated?
Yeah, it's going to have to pass through some filter that's like I don't even know how you like control that either. You
Yeah.
know, like how are you gonna? Somebody could buy the filter thing, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they pump out like
Dude, there's already
a
been
news company, but you know what I mean.
Oh, for sure. There's been instances of people like knowing the family that owns internetarchive.org, reaching out to them and having them like wipe their whole internet history so that they can't be canceled. So that type of stuff is happening. And we're just talking about Internet Archive posts. So, in the future, people might be like reaching out to these AI verification. Cause I know there's this thing you can like run Chat GPT through a program and it'll say, here's the probability that it was generated with. So who's to say somebody couldn't just get in touch with the person who programmed that website and just have them manipulate it for this one instance for like a massive payment,
Yeah. And money talks.
Exactly.
I hate it. I hate greed. I hate it so much. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you offer somebody a 6-figure payment, they'll change. If it's just a simple flip of a switch, they'll do it. Like, oh my God, this money would change my life and this, that, and the other. And that's why money is the root of all evil. But that's a topic for another time. That would be a rabbit hole that would never end, dude.
Let me piggyback off of this real quick. I know you're asking a lot of questions. Let me ask a question. Would you shit your pants for $10,000?
For 10,000, yes, I would, dude. Because you just throw the clothes out. You never have to use them again. For 10,000, I would 100% do that.
Like right now.
Right now?
10K. Yeah. Would you shit your pants? Maybe like in an hour if you're digesting food. Like.
If
you can mute the mic too, I guess.
You know what, dude? If I had absolute definitive proof that someone was going to insta wire me 10K, then yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, okay. But I would need because here would be the typical thing of like they tell you to do it and they're going to pay you and then you do it and it's like, oh, I got you next week. No, not next fucking week. Right the fuck now.
No, like you get 10K, and then shit your pants. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So yeah, definitive proof that I'm getting paid. Hell yeah, I would do it. But yeah,
that's the next AI video.
Yeah. Stan PG shitting pants at very high speed, 4K HD. That's the title of the video.
$10,000 alert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I just had to ask because, money's the root of all evil.
True. It's the root of me ruining my Hulkamania shorts, and I will not have it. Okay.
Not the Hulkamania shorts. Sorry, I had that. That's my favorite question.
It's okay. Dr. Red's primer question to discover whether or not somebody's cool is mac and cheese or spaghetti. So you know what? It makes more sense than that question. So,
okay.
Shots fired. Yes, I did fire them at you, Dr. Red. Anyway, so pivoting to
mac and cheese guy, just for Dr. Red. Sorry if that's not the right answer.
I actually don't remember what he considers to be the right answer, but you know what? Someday I'll ask him and we'll find out the truth. But pivoting to a less, doomer question.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we did talk about a little bit the type of games that you stream, but I don't think I've ever gotten the chance to ask you, what are just like some of your absolute favorite games? Not necessarily ones that you would like to stream, but ones that you can just boot up anytime and always have fun with.
Yeah. Crash Team Racing is, in my opinion, one of the best racing games for me to play. I think it's not my favorite game. It's like one of them for sure. It's in like top 5. It's got to be, because I don't know. It's just something about the way they made that game. It's so fun to race because you like drift. You played it, right?
Yeah, I watched you play it too.
The way you like drift in that game and get the boot, like it's so satisfying. It's like you don't have to wait. Like Mario Kart, you gotta wait and you gotta be strategic. You just fucking hit a drift and you get a boost and you can just do it the whole track. That one's super good. I don't know. Let me look at my shelf. Chibi Robo I just played. That's a very fun game. I don't know if I'd play it again anytime soon. Like Crash Team Racing. But it's a very good game. Pikmin. I really, really like Pikmin. More notably 2. 4 was really fun. 1 is fun.
Pikmin 2 is goated.
One's time, but Pikmin 2 is like they nailed it right on the head. It's perfect. They got all the cool shit in there. I'm trying to like look around and see what I have. I guess if I have to look, I don't. It's not that good, right?
No. It's plus I did kind of put you on the spot. That was a question that was not pre-prepared.
Yeah, you're good.
Going off the rails.
Yeah, Monster. Any of the Monster Hunter games.
Yeah.
I was at a point I was playing like 3 at the same time. World 3 Ultimate and then 4 Ultimate, and that was just and Generations Ultimate. because it's like Monster Hunter has the initial game and then the upgrade, whatever.
Mhm.
Sorry. So I gotta play all that shit. Those games, that whole franchise, I would say, is like wow. I love it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't get enough.
And Monster Hunter seems really fun too, because you can squad up in a way, and it's not, you can just casually have a squad together of people and just do all kinds of different tasks. You don't have to actively take on, I don't know what they're called, missions. You don't have to actively take on quests or missions. Yeah, whatever it happens to be. Like, you can just chill and arm wrestle like you were doing. You just fucking play a little arm wrestling mini game for hours.
Yeah, it's very charming. Very charming. Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of a boomer in some aspects, but I feel like World kind of lost a little bit of the charm.
Yeah.
So I hope they bring it back in the new game. But the older games, there's so much. It's just a cool little world, and it used to be so niche. I think that's maybe why I like it a little bit more. And now it's super mainstream, which is great. I'm glad. A lot of more recognition, a lot more merchandise stuff for me to buy. I love it. Wow.
Yeah.
But I love spending money. But yeah, that Monster Hunter is very good. Sonic Adventure is also one of my top 5s for sure.
Fuck yeah.
I haven't played like the Dreamcast version, but the DX version on the GameCube is the same thing, different like models. But yeah, I don't know, something about that over Sonic Adventure 2. I don't know if it's like the open world or the way everybody's like stories interconnect. Like you can see it almost in real time, like how everybody's stories are connected. In Sonic Adventure 2, it's kind of like one storyline, and I'm playing as this character, and I'm playing as this character, and here's a cutscene. Now I'm playing as this character, and it feels like a little more disjointed,
Yeah, I hated that about too. Like I just want to select my character. I don't want to play as these. God, at the fucking like emerald piece hunting mission. I don't want to do this. Fun. No, get me out of here. I want to play as Sonic and run fast. Fuck this.
Yeah, Sonic stages are always fucking fun. Yeah, even if you fall through the floor because you're going too fast in a game about going fast.
Buggy as fuck. Yeah.
But yeah. I'd say those are some of my favorite games. I'm probably missing a couple.
So you had a pretty heavy emphasis on Nintendo and a lot of those. What do you feel like it is about Nintendo, the games that they not necessarily develop first party, but they also publish? Does it just seem like they're tapped into what games are going to be more enjoyable, more charming, or is there something else to it, like gameplay wise, maybe?
I think a lot of Nintendo games have like a lot of charm. I mean, Sega games are always good because like Sega games, Capcom is a really good publisher. Is that what they are?
Developer.
Developer,
both. They're
whatever.
both, really.
Yeah. I like a lot of their games. Devil May Cry is super fucking fun. I think the Nintendo, across the board has always had like a good track record of just, this game's just fun to fucking play. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, even by yourself or with people, like, because I feel like nowadays you'll hear, oh, it's really fun playing with friends. It's like, yeah, no shit, dude. You like your friends. You're playing with them, you know?
Who would have thought?
I think I said that for Helldivers, but like, even with like random people, it's still a pretty fun game. Not to like plug Helldivers, but yeah, I think just even solo, like F-Zero, I want F-Zero to come back so bad. I said Crash Team Race is one of the best. Dude, F-Zero, I swear to, dude.
F-Zero GX, if you guys don't know about F-Zero GX, that game has like the best feeling of speed you will ever fucking experience in a video game, for real.
It is. I'm getting chills. I'm thinking about it. It
is the greatest. Yes.
I don't know how they did it, but it does, like, you feel like you're going fucking 100 million miles per hour.
And it's so smooth. Ridiculous. It's 60 FPS, just perfect. Wasn't that made by Amusement Vision? That was the same company that made Super Monkey Ball, I'm pretty sure.
It's on the Super Monkey Ball engine. Yeah,
that company, Amusement Vision, they made outstanding fucking games, and they just kind of got absorbed back into Sega, which is disappointing because the games didn't perform the way they wanted them to. But Super Monkey Ball 1 and 2 and F-Zero GX, the fact that those 3 are under their belt, those games are fucking amazing. So if you guys have never played those, pick up, a copy or however you want to acquire it, which I don't approve of, and give them a shot because they're awesome.
I approve it. Fuck Nintendo. Re-release F-Zero GX, please.
Oh, dude, they're gonna take the battering ram and knock my door over now. They're gonna say, this clown.
Dude, they could. Oh, God, I can't admit this. No, they could lock my. They could probably get me tomorrow. I'll be locked up forever. You guys will never see me again. I swear to God, it's so bad.
No, as long as you don't post, as long as you don't host a ROM website, then you seem to be good. Because that's what they did with the people, like the husband and wife that ran Cool ROM or whatever. They like raided their house and stole their servers.
Oh
yeah,
my
it was
God.
nuts.
That's wild. Yeah, shit. Damn, rip.
Yeah, I know.
I don't host a ROM site, but
yeah, well,
I got the files.
I think it came down to like, no, you're fine. If you're downloading, you're cool. Like if you're downloading the stuff, it's not a big deal. It's mainly if you're hosting and distributing it. Cause like, you know, downloading it for your own personal use, that's really victimless in a way, I guess you could say. But if you're uploading it and distributing it, that is at that point kind of, you know, if Nintendo's also selling those same ROMs, then it's kind of competing with them. And I can see why they would have an issue.
Yeah. Yeah, it was amusement, by the way. I did look it up because I was also very curious. But
dude, they were the best.
Dude, that shit. Yeah, that game. I like CTR, Crash Team Racing, a lot. Can always go back and play that. F-Zero GX is so fucking hard, but it is such a good feeling game. But yeah, I think like a lot of Nintendo games, like I played Nintendo Land for the Wii U, and I was like, this is fucking incredible. And I'm playing a party game by myself, and it's still super cool. It's super fun. And I was like, when was the last time you fucking heard about Nintendo Land? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's like, it's like Nintendo's, it's called Nintendo Land. Like,
dude, I think I think they're so good at, like, someone said this once, they compared Miyamoto to like Stan Lee, the gaming world, because like he created Mario, he created Zelda, Star Fox, F-Zero, all these properties. Pikmin was one of his latest ones. Like he just has all these ideas and he's able to translate these, I mean, wacky fucking, like a space captain who throws aliens at things and like has them planting stuff and like attacking, and like who the fuck would think of this stuff?
Yeah, it's so weird. Yeah.
And why does it work? Like he just has this innate ability to just like find quirky ass ideas and make them work. It's so awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and maybe it is a nostalgia thing too, because I didn't get like I've had like Game Boy, Nintendo 64, GameCube, Wii. Yeah. I didn't have like an Xbox or anything until I was like 16. I had a PS2, but I didn't really play on it too much. So maybe it is like nostalgia bias, whatever. Yeah. But yeah, not sure.
Yeah, I think you know, Nintendo was really good at that, and for a time, you know, I think Sony was, because they had Naughty Dog making games that were similar. Like Jak and Daxter felt like Sony's answer to something like a Mario, because it had the platforming, but it also kind of had this more adult style humor to it. And Naughty Dog has always been just like ahead of the curve. Like they were kind of like Rareware for early PlayStation, because Rareware was like first person shooter, GoldenEye, fucking one of the greatest games ever made. Yeah. Fighting game, Killer Instinct, one of the greatest games ever made. Like they were just hitting all these different genres and just nailing that shit. And then you had Naughty Dog, it's like, oh, Crash Bandicoot platformer, nailed. Racing game, nailed. Jak and Daxter comes out, it's like action oriented, nailed. And then later on they start making Uncharted and these hyper realistic games, and they just fucking nail it, dude. They're just one of those studios that just like has their stuff together.
Yeah, I kind of do miss those old rivalries too, like talking about Crash and Jak and all that. Like we were like, like Crash Bandicoot is fucking sick, way better than Mario, you know. It's all that silly rivalry, and they're like, nobody cared, you know what I mean? Like it was like no exec really cared. They were just like, yeah, whatever. And yeah, they were all good games, and I think maybe that rivalry helped them be better games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like competition breeds excellence in a lot of different ways, and like if there's no competition, then everything just gets stale and complacency sets in. So, you know, you have to have one company, at least one competitor that's like pushing you to do better. I mean, for a while, like Dave was saying Donkey Kong Country too. Yeah, like every single genre that Rareware touched was the greatest. And then Microsoft acquired them, and
we don't got to talk about that.
Yeah, shoved them into a corner and said, make all this Connect Sports bullshit. And it was so bad, dude.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think... Didn't you talk about Donkey Kong? I think like last night's stream you said something about Donkey Kong Country. That game, like learning about just how it's like made and everything is fucking wild. It's such a cool game on the SNES, like how they did like the 3D renders and then they put them on the they pushed the hardware to its limits in every imaginable way. Like sound design was pushed to its limit, the chip was overloaded.
Like the graphical capability was the best the system could put out. Like everything about it was just the best that the SNES could do. And then on N64, they just went further, like Blast Core, GoldenEye, Perfect Dark.
Yeah.
Everything on N64 they put out was fucking so good.
It was sick. Yeah. Yeah, I really like, yeah, I wish, I don't know, Microsoft didn't fuck it up.
But, you know, on the topic of acquisitions, we're kind of in that phase right now where it's like Sony and Microsoft are just racing to acquire as many, you know, publishers. And dude, that Microsoft deal is such an unfathomable amount of money for like Activision. They paid like, what was that, $68 billion to acquire fucking Activision. That is such a crazy amount of money.
That's insane. Yeah. And what Activision had, their most popular thing right now is what, like a live service battle royale from Call of Duty, right?
Yeah, I think so. Because I know Overwatch. We don't even need to get into this, but Overwatch 1 was so fun, and Overwatch 2 is, in my opinion, it is a complete scam. The fact that you have to purchase a season pass every time a new fucking character comes out is a complete ripoff, and I refuse to participate. So.
Yeah. I think I stopped playing Overwatch in 1 after competitive came out because I just got way too pissed off at ranks. I was like, this is not fun for me right now. When I have to worry about ranking, I get a little toxic, I won't lie.
Yeah, so, 2018 was the 100%, dude. Like 2018 was the fucking downfall of Overwatch because they released this character named Brigitte, and she was supposed to be like anti-dive. So not to get super technical, but Overwatch had this meta called dive where basically your tanks would jump on somebody, usually a support for the other team, and then you would just all dive together. Yeah, it would be like Winston, Diva would be the tanks. And then it'd be like Tracer, Genji. Everybody would just descend on, you know, one character that they wanted to take out first. And so they created this character, Brigitte, to be anti-dive. Like her whole kit was just designed to stop that from happening. And so what ended up happening is some team called Goats figured out that if you picked 3 supports and 3 tanks, you basically never died, like ever. And it just broke the game, like fundamentally completely busted the meta. Everything was destroyed, and all competitive Overwatch boiled down to 3 supports, 3 tanks. Nobody watched Overwatch League. It killed Overwatch League viewership, and they just like refused to change this character. They wouldn't nerf her, they wouldn't change her, they just left it as is, and it fucked the whole game.
That's wild. Yeah, I didn't know all that. That's fucking crazy. I remember when I was playing, I think it was like, so this is before they had the role like 2 and 2, right? 2-2-2 or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it was like we didn't, because did they impose a limit? Because I remember like 5 Torbjorns was like the most insane shit every game or something, maybe.
Yeah, in the beginning,
but it was something ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, in super early Overwatch, it was no limits at all times. Like you just pick 6 McCrees or 6 whatever you know you wanted to do. And then and then whenever you know they kind of tuned it a little bit and made it good for competitive, then they were like, okay. You can pick whatever hero you want, but you can't, only one person can pick one individual hero. Yeah. Like you have to, there was a limit on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Love competitive games. I like seeing how they either evolve or devolve in terms of meta. Cause that's fucking ridiculous. It's just 5 of the same or 6 of the same character being the meta.
Man, I personally, I feel like min-maxing makes shit so boring. Like you watch Dead by Daylight in the beginning, it was fun because like everybody was trying these different strategies and perk builds and all these different things. And then eventually someone's like, oh yeah, this is like busted good. And then you just see everybody using it. And it's like, it's not even fun anymore. I'm just playing against the same busted shit every game, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's one of the complaints I have with Monster Hunter. I mean, I even fall victim to min-maxing shit. I don't know why. It just is like, dude, it's the most efficient shit. And I'm like, yes. Yeah. But at the same time, going back to older Monster Hunters, you would like put on the most random bullshit and you'd look stupid. And you'd be like, I have this skill that I want, it's fucking sick. And then like now it's like, dude, you got the last boss armor, and then you put all these in, you have like the maximum, and then you gotta do, and it's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Just give me what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm still guilty of it, but I'm a little less like meta slaved to it. So
yeah, Fracky said I only jank through games for this exact reason. Yeah, it's like I remember somebody was saying like this is why World of Warcraft Classic is like it's destined to die eventually because like the game's already been figured out. Like we are like people were discussing the shit in like forums 10, 15 years ago, what was optimal. So like they already know what's optimal when they put out these classic patches. It's like it's already figured out. It's already a solved game. So like all that sense of, discovery and everybody like working together to discover the best shit. It's like it's already gone. You can't really have that.
Yeah, and you're already day one. You're already like, oh, I know exactly where I need to go and what I need to do. So yeah, I think old school RuneScape was the same, and then they're dealing with like power creep or something.
Yeah.
With every new fucking thing that they add, and it's still fun, but yeah, it's definitely not the same game in terms of end game. It's like it's always something like get this, and then you have to do another fucking raid. Yeah. I stopped playing old school RuneScape a while ago, particularly because of that, but also the time sink.
Yeah, dude, I know RuneScape is a massive time sink game. That's all I ever hear about it.
Fucked up. It's so fucked up.
Yeah, how do you Dave kind of mentioned that it's kind of like reliving the glory days and a lot of nostalgia. So kind of, playing off of that, how do you feel about this era that we're in of just like never ending remakes and remasters and like these companies constantly trying to tease like these 90s and 80s games? Like, how do you feel about that? Is it like stifling new IPs and creativity, or is it cool that, they're doing it, or do you feel like it should slow down a little bit?
I think breathing new life into something old is always good. I feel like there's a lot of good new like quality of life or like features that have come through, this old game is like this and we made it better with what we've learned building up to this newer title or whatever. Like the Resident Evil games, or I played the N64 version and then I played the remake and I was like, this feels really good.
Yeah.
I would choose the remake over the N64 version in terms of playing, like feeling good. The gunplay is great. I mean, fucking Resident Evil 4 remake was, it's fun to play now. It's not as jank, whatever. And some people like that. I mean, it's a feel, it's definitely different. I think they're different enough games. I guess they dropped the ball of 3. I've played the Resident Evil games. I'm not like into it. I played them like once or twice, you know what I mean? But I guess they dropped the ball with Resident Evil 3. Crash Team Racing had, I think is fucking like Crash Team Racing. I love this goddamn game. They did a remake of that using the original Crash Team Racing like structure basically. So whatever games came after, they don't use like any of that shit, but they brought in all the maps and all the characters, so it's just like it's a huge collection basically, but it still feels like one game. I feel like games like that where they can just make it like fancy it up, I guess, is the best remake. The Silent Hill 2 remake, we'll see. I'm sure you're I'm sure
jury's out. Yeah, we'll see.
A little worried about that. So I mean, I think I would rather remasters. I would rather they just go HD texture or whatever. Like they don't even like Nintendo doing the Switch Online, like basically ROMs on your Switch where you can just play Ocarina of Time again. Like I think that's what we should probably be more focused on than like a remake per se. Because I mean, Twilight Princess came out on the Wii and GameCube, and then they did it on the Wii U, and then they took out like they give you stamps in fucking thing. Not that I hate stamps.
Wind Waker HD got rid of the tingle tuner,
dude.
The fucking bottle drawing thing. Like, why? Why would you do this?
You have a gamepad in front of you.
Yeah.
I would rather have the tingle tuner on my gamepad.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, if you didn't have a Game Boy, you were fucked, and then you like, you know what I mean? But yeah, stuff like that. I would rather them make a re-release of some sort in HD textures. It doesn't have to be like incredible. Like I literally don't care. I just want to play the game again on a system, so I don't have to download it on my computer and play updated textures on my computer or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
go to Nexus Mods and sort through all the micro keenies and nude mods to figure out the good shit that you need to give the game quality of life.
I want to pay $30 to $50. 50's pushing it. I'm gonna be honest. 30's like I think the perfect for like a re-release. If it's like they actually put in effort. It's like updated. They like but yeah, I think it's okay. It is disappointing when it is like a game that you care about and then it fucking sucks. And then now whatever old copy of the game is even more expensive than it already was because the fucking gaming market is it's insane. the collector fucking market. I can't talk again. You can kind of see my shelf.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, 100%. There's a lot to be said about that. Like this conversation has had a lot in the Silent Hill community. It's had a lot mainly like the biggest mainstream attention would be the Star Wars movies. Because like the whole idea of it is like art is never really finished. It's just abandoned, like left where it is, and everything that goes into it, like the budget limitations of the time, the technological limitations of the time, like we were talking about Donkey Kong Country on the SNES. If they decided to wait on that until the N64 to put that game out, it'd be a totally different game.
Oh yeah, I don't think it would have been as good. I mean, they made Donkey Kong 64, which is great.
Yeah,
but putting the way Donkey Kong Country was, it was incredible.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes, dude, sometimes it can even be disrespectful. Like they go back and they just completely overwrite shit. It's like, dude, that was the part that people liked. Like with Star Wars, they go back and they erased all these practical effects and they put shitty CGI, like late 90s, early 2000s CGI. Yeah. Like that's so disrespectful to the people who like worked night in and night out to make these effects happen. Like I hate when they go back and remaster things and they just delete stuff and like replace it with new fancy shit. It's like, that's cool, but that was the part that people liked. I think you missed that part.
Yeah. Practical is always going to be better. I mean, obviously it looks goofy sometimes, but just comparing the two side by side, practical just feels more grounded. I don't know. Yeah. Like everybody knows it's a fucking movie. I don't need it to be hyper realistic, CGI bullshit. I don't. I want Jabba the Hutt to look a little bit fucked up. Like he's not. You know what I mean? Like he's Jabba the Hutt. He's not. Smooth. I mean, he is, but you know what I mean? Yeah,
like it had this, the animatronic had this look to it to where it was actually believable. And then in the, whatever they're called, like the special editions, there's like this really fucking weird jank, like blur CGI over him. And like you can really, it's like sticks out so badly. It's like you can tell they just superimposed it over the old shots. Like it's so bad, dude. Like why would you do this?
It doesn't really come out as good. And I don't know how it gets back. I guess it's just people are just like, yeah, whatever, just put it out. I don't,
because George Lucas is like, he just doesn't get it. But it's the thing that's different though is like the shit that happens in games. A lot of time it's being changed by people that weren't even involved in the original team. Like it's a different company. Like Blue Point does all their HD remasters and stuff, and they did like the Shadow of the Colossus upscale. I'm sure they weren't like on the phone with Fumito Ueda every single day to get things exactly as he would want, but at least they respected the source material.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it's like just release the game. Like all they added to Shadow of the Colossus was like a sword that you get at the end of the game, and it's like this whole thing. And then Demon Souls, it's like just some dude's armor. Yeah, and I was like, I remember it was this whole thing because it's like, oh, what are these tokens in New Game Plus Plus? Oh my God, we need to find all of them and see what's And they're like, yeah, it's armor, bro. Like I don't, you know what I mean? And I think that's what they should, remasters and remakes. I'd rather a remaster over a remake, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
It might be the boomer mentality, but I think they did it. They did it pretty good with Resident Evil 4 and being like, yeah, dude, this is a remake. Like this is different. Final Fantasy 7, same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Austin was telling me the storyline for that, and I'm like, this seems kind of weird compared to what the original was.
Yeah.
I've not played either, but I mean, it looks fucking sick.
It looks amazing. Yeah,
it looks great.
Mind blowing.
But yeah, if I was like a fan and then they're like, this is it now, I'd be like, that kind of sucks.
Yeah, because there's the whole thing, there's the whole meme about like Nomura ghosts. Like this guy, Tetsuya Nomura, every game he makes has to have like these fucking ghosts that just appear out of nowhere. And he did that in 7 Remake as well. It's like from the very beginning, there's these ghosts and visions. It's like, why is all this shit even in here, dude?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
And, Dave was saying slightly bad CGI takes you out of a movie more than bad practical. That's why I don't fuck with Marvel movies. Not even in the sense that I've never really cared for superheroes in the first place. But when I watch like the big action sequences in one of these Marvel movies, I just see fucking CGI fighting with another CGI. And like they look all rubbery and they don't even have like realistic physics. And it's just so fucked up, dude.
And it's crazy because even in like 90s movies or early 2000s, you can see the CGI back then, and it's like it hasn't really gotten that much better. Like I can always tell when something's CGI, and practical is always going to be better. And then like you can build around it in CGI, like backgrounds and shit. They do that. I guess. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the sets. It's like a blue screen.
Yeah, it's just them acting in front of a blue screen. That's all the behind the scenes is. wires and green screens and blue screens. That's it.
Yeah, and it's cheaper, I guess, but it's fucking, I don't know. It just, yeah, it feels like not good. And now, yeah, it's the whole cinematic. Loved Iron Man as a kid. Damn, there's just way too many superhero movies now. I mean,
Yeah.
some are better than others, and it's just like, can we be consistent at least? They're making trillions of dollars. I mean, I'm sure it costs, you know, a couple trillion, whatever. I don't know how much, whatever. I'm making numbers up. But, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to make it back anyway. Just fucking spend the money.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually, Fracky. Mad Max Fury Road had a lot of CGI that's largely unnoticeable. Yeah, it's what it is it's sweatshop CGI is the issue. Like they're pumping out CGI at such a high rate. That's the issue. You know, I know that might be a little bit of an offensive term, so I apologize.
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But what I mean by that is tight budgets. You know, working people overnight. Imagine how many fucking CGI artists had to work on Avengers Endgame or whatever. It's like, this is our fucking deadline. It has to be done by this time. And they cut corners, and that's why it turns out the way that it does. Good CGI takes years. Like Mad Max Fury Road was shot in 2012. The shit didn't come out till summer 2015. They worked on that for 3 years.
Yeah. And people loved it.
Yeah.
It was a good movie from what I've heard. I've not seen them. I saw the original Mad Max and I was like, this is fucking boring, but it's because it was in Australia. So I got to watch the other two, which I think are also in Australia, but it's cooler. I don't know. It was a bunch of, if you're not seeing the original Mad Max, it's just the dudes in leather. Like
dudes with leather
cars.
and spikes, and they look like they came from a Judas Priest concert. They're swinging stuff. Who even knows?
And the audio's fucked because it's from like the 80s and they used like a hairdryer microphone or something.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't sound, it doesn't sound good for car revving.
Yeah.
And I watched it on VHS too, which probably isn't. It's
Dude,
like the worst way.
Dude, funny story about the original Mad Max. The Australian accents and the terms they used in that were so heavy that they actually did an English dub.
I think I remember. Either you said that or I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so wild. That's
They're
so
like,
fucking funny.
they were using.
Can't understand them.
Yeah, dude, they were using so many like super local like Aussie terms that they're like, this is not gonna fly in the U.S. Like, we got to overdub this shit.
Yeah, and then they got a pretty killer trilogy. I love how it looks. I mean, I love that dystopian look for sure.
Dude,
but
Bracky says watch Fury Road. If you watch Fury Road in your Discord, I'm fucking there, dude, because that movie is like one of the greatest action movies ever made, for real.
That's what I keep hearing. And again, like working around movies, I don't ingest enough movie content.
I don't either.
So I gotta pick that up. But yeah, I have like a whole I have like fucking 100 Blu-rays behind me that I'm like, oh yeah, I'll watch them. I mean, I get them cheap, you know what I mean? I'm like, whatever, just give it to me. But yeah, CGI, fuck that shit. Like Black Panther. I mean, it's so easy to pick on the superhero movies because it's just like you said, it's just people getting overworked.
Yeah,
crunch. It's like it has to be out, and that's like, dude,
Fracky says due to CGI workers being not unionized, so they get treated far worse than most other workers. Yeah, that fucking sucks.
I see. I wonder if it's because I know the anime industry is kind of the same, right? I think because Dragon Ball Z, I remember Dragon Ball Z Super came out, and they were like, some fucking freaks were going frame by frame, and that's like, all right, when you watch a weekly or whatever anime, it's gonna be pretty shitty. But
they were talking about, because like the big thing about it was the original series was like hand drawn, and you could actually see like the fluid motion. And then in Super, they have all these things where it's like 2 or 3 cycles. Like a punch is like just this really weird stiff. Yeah, it's hard to explain, but like if you watch them side by side, it's very clear that more effort went into the late 80s, 90s version.
Yeah, and that's kind of because they just had to do it that way. I don't think tech was really up to that point of just like quickly drawing, boom, next frame, whatever. So,
that concept, dude, that same concept extends to games, because look what happened with Last of Us 2 is like, it just kind of came out that the work conditions were terrible. The same deal with Cyberpunk. Work conditions were awful. They had deadlines to meet. They did serious crunch time. And look, I mean, Last of Us 2 ended up great, but it's like at what cost? Because like a bunch of people left the company because the conditions were so bad, Yeah,
it's like crunch time. It's like, just push it back, dude. Like, I don't know. Whenever somebody's like, hey, our game's not going to come out for another couple months, I don't know. There was a game recently that was like that. I think maybe it was Pikmin 4. I can't remember what it was. Maybe not Pikmin 4. I don't know. Nintendo's pretty good about just being like, here it is. Whoops, sorry.
Yeah.
Pretty good about just being, just releasing it. But yeah, it was some game I was pretty hyped for, and I was like, great, I'm glad they have a couple more months because, dude, if it's gonna be like this insane game,
Yeah.
take your fucking time, please. I'm gonna pay $70
Yeah.
for this fucking game. I want it to be good.
Yeah.
I do not want to pay full price for some fucking half-ass piece of shit.
Going back to
AAA.
Miyamoto. Miyamoto has a famous quote. He's like, a bad game that at launch is bad forever, but a delayed game might temporarily upset people, but it's going to come out and it's going to be great, and nobody will even remember the delays by the time the game comes out if it's good.
Right.
So it's like, don't ruin the legacy of the game by pushing it out early. I'd honestly, I'll tell the truth, I don't give a shit that Cyberpunk is good now. Everybody keeps telling me, oh, it's so fucking sick now, it's great, man. It's like, where was this 4 years ago, 3 years ago now? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's soured. Yeah, it's soured in my brain. I don't want to revisit it. Yeah, I get told all the time. I mean, it looks cool. I like Cyberpunk too.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic or whatever. It's neat, but yeah, I probably won't play it. Also, just I'm not super interested.
Yeah, Hanger Guy, people say it's good now. I mean, I hear that all the time. They're like, oh, ever since the Edge Runners anime came out, like they put out this big 2.0 patch and they fixed all the performance stuff and this, that, and the other. I'm like, cool. I would have liked to have played it when it first came out, but like it just fucking sucked. It was buggy as hell and it just wasn't there yet. It wasn't ready for prime time.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of, maybe it's not a lot. Maybe I'm just thinking it was a lot because I heard about it a lot. But yeah, there was like that weird era where just nothing was coming out finished, and it was like we're relying on the 15 gigabyte day one patch, and I'm like, dude, come on, man, I barely have enough room for your 100 gig game.
Yeah,
what is this?
Yeah, it's like it's like in the Kroby Cat video. He had a really famous video called Overhype and Underdelivered, and there was a guy who was commenting on it, and he's like, they shipped you a live service game. You have to be committed to connecting to the internet and updating this game in real time to get it to the standard that it should have been on release. And like, that's just not how it's supposed to fucking work. Like this mentality of push it out and patch it later is so damaging, because now, you know, companies are getting games like 75% done and they're pressing discs. It's like, dude, the shit's not even done yet. You don't even know if it's going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get like that thing where it's like, oh, I bought it and it doesn't boot up now. And now I need to, you know, go to my local library and plug it into the internet.
Something. No Man's Sky was the same deal. Yeah.
No Man's Sky was huge because, they were definitely like, this is the craziest shit you've ever seen. And then it comes out and it's like Minecraft version 1.0.
Yeah, and
with space travel.
The worst part about that was like they really did set that guy Sean Murray up for failure, because like they had him on fucking Stephen Colbert being like, dude, you can fucking go anywhere, you could do anything in this game. And then there was that one guy from Game Trailers or whatever, like was trying to ask questions about it, and he's like, what do you mean I can do everything? Like I can go to a planet, I can apparently collect materials, and then I can go to another planet. That's like 3 or 4 things. Like what do you mean I can do anything? And then of course it came out and it was like completely underwhelming and predictable as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, he was passionate about it, which is great.
Yeah.
Because was that his, like, that was like his baby.
Yeah. Right? Hello Games. He was like the head of that project and he ran the studio at the time. So yeah, he was like the face of No Man's Sky. Yeah.
So at least he was passionate, and then they sorted it out. I mean, yeah, it's the same thing as Cyberpunk. It's like, oh, dude, it's a sick game now. It's like, dude, it's been like fucking millennia since it came out. I'm sorry, I'm not interested now.
Yeah.
There's good games now, you know? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I find that, you know, the studios that only put out games that are finished, they're the ones that generally get the best reputations. Like, and CD Projekt Red used to be that way. Unfortunately, they're not anymore.
Yeah.
Oh my God, have you guys seen the apology video, by the way, of that guy saying that you can get refunds? He looks dead inside. He's like,
oh my God, no.
He literally looks like he's been drinking and up all night before. It's so sad to fucking see, dude.
That's so sad, dude.
Yeah.
It is so sad. Yeah, the Helldivers dev, it was because obviously their servers were super over capacity or whatever, and there was always like people not getting in. And I remember he made like a tweet and he was just like, hey guys, server capacity is up. Sorry about everything. And then he like deleted it because it was like 2 a.m. or something. Like, and everybody's like, oh my God, like, dude,
go to sleep.
Chill. Like, yeah, get out of here. But now everything's fine. Whatever. So yeah, I feel bad for those guys because I'm sure they feel like super fucking guilty because everybody's human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But yeah, especially if you do like the project you're working on, which I'm sure CD Projekt Red was fucking stoked, you know.
Yeah.
And then just getting super pushed was like not. I mean, it goes back to shitty workplace environment. It's like,
yeah.
maybe not in the game industry. It's a little harder to get in. You know what I mean? Don't just quit, but yeah, just getting fair treatment.
Yeah,
what
and
your project should be.
And there's so many more factors now. Like we've had this conversation in your stream about 6th Gen and how a lot of these games were so unique. Like fucking Katamari Damacy, Mr. Mosquito, Chibi Robo. These games are like concepts that you would never, like if you pitch these to a boardroom, you get laughed at nowadays.
Yeah.
They're like, this is not going to make money. This is bullshit. We're not publishing this, And there's so many other factors. Like now when you want to pitch a game, like here, there's another going back to Overwatch, but Jeff Kaplan told the story about pitching it to Bobby Kotick, the CEO of Activision. He would not greenlight the game unless they put loot boxes in it. So, and unless you put a bullshit microtransaction system in here, I will not allow you to make this game. That's the type of decision making we're dealing with now. Like it has to be monetized. It has to be, every little penny needs to be pinched nowadays.
So stupid. It's so dumb. Make a good game. It'll sell.
Exactly.
I feel like there have been too many games recently in the last 5 months that have just been like, it's a great game. Wow, we made so much more than we were expecting. That's crazy. It's like, how is that hard to understand for a business executive? I don't your loot box. I'm sorry if it gives me a fucking skin that is gold, solid gold, and I get a gold statue in the mail. I don't care.
Yeah,
I want the game to be good.
Exactly.
I want it to be finished.
That's why I hate pre-order culture too. I really fucking hate pre-order culture for that reason, because it's like, well, we've already got the money. Just the money's here, so just get the game out. We don't even have to worry about meeting profit or plan anymore. We already did it. Yeah,
well, back in the day, it was a little bit better because you get a little bonus. You get a little statue or a exclusive keychains, stickers, buttons, whatever. And now it's like, here's a gun skin that you won't use after an hour of playing the game.
Yeah,
sick.
Like the famous Angry Joe skit. You want to give me a gun that's painted blue.
Yeah, it's like, I don't fucking care, dude. For $20 extra.
Yeah,
and
of course.
Pre-order. It's like, whatever, man. I don't pre-order anything unless it's a franchise that I trust.
Yeah, Resident Evil 4 Remake is the only thing I pre-ordered in the past 5 years, because I just knew this is Capcom's A team. This is their primary internal Tokyo team. This is gonna fucking be a slam dunk. It just is.
They had to get that one good too, because RE4 it was hitting I feel like there's every niche. No, Resident Evil 4 wasn't niche. It was big when it came out. Obviously, it was on a bunch of shit and it was really playable. But once it hits the normie, you know what I mean? Once everybody is talking about it, layman, not really in the gaming scene, that's when it's okay, you should probably make sure that your game that you're re-releasing is the best fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
And so I think they did a pretty good job.
The best version it can possibly that's the least you should be worried about. If you're doing a remake project, just make it fun and the best version of it can possibly be, and it's not gonna fail.
Yeah. Just it's kind of you have this bowl of soup that's delicious. Just reheat it.
Exactly. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
And that's a great point. Resident Evil 4 Remake, no multiplayer. The only mode that's additional was free, which is Mercenaries, a free update. You don't have to pay for that. And it's good.
Sick. It's fun.
Yeah. And it sold like fucking crazy, dude. It single-handedly, I think it's in the top 4 already, and RE5 Gold is number 1 because it was released on a million different platforms, and then RE7 is number 2, but it shot right to the top and it sold crazy.
Yeah, fucking Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. We don't talk about that game. I'm not a fan. I'll just say that.
Austin, thanks for making me play Resident Evil 5 and 6. It was so fun with you. Yeah, those are some games. Yeah.
All right, but yeah, man, we're coming up on the 2-hour mark here. So, did you need a break or anything, or are you good?
No. Do you need a break?
No, I'm good. I just was there anything else that I did ask you this before we got started, but I wanted to know, did you have any questions for me or anything that you've been curious about to ask me?
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I've learned a lot just from watching you in general and just being curious. I like to ask a lot of questions typically, so I usually do that over the span of time that I know somebody. Why did you get into streaming again? That's one thing I do forget.
So that it's not really a super long story. I did it back in 2012 because I saw people playing Silent Hill and they didn't know what was going on, and I was like, I want to stream because I want to show people like how the games work. And then kind of recently that happened too. Like in late 2019, I saw this dude playing Silent Hill 2, and he got the wallet out of the toilet bowl, and there's like this puzzle where it gives you a combination. And once he found that, if you play on hard mode, it gives you Roman numerals. So it said VV5. And for some reason, this dude for like fucking 30 minutes was like down 5. Like, what does down 5 mean? And I was like, I was about to fucking just punch my screen, but he had like a very strict no back seating policy. I was like, I'm going to fucking lose it. I can't stay here anymore. Yeah. So yeah, that was my inciting incident. And then I went live, and there ended up being like one dude in there that was super cool. And then at the end of that stream, he was like, when will you stream again? That was the catalyst. And here I am almost 4 years later, still doing it. What's my favorite color? Pink. Thank you for that question, Chi.
Wow.
Who would have thunk?
Not me. Look at you.
I know, dude. It's so obvious. Well,
covered in black.
Well, just to close, I did want to say, I don't want to get super personal, but I did just want to say something while you're on here. I did kind of mention it at the beginning, but watching your stream and especially seeing the way your community interacts and the way that your content works, you actually reminded me to have fun with streaming. Cause you know, a lot of times when I would go live, I'd just be like, I need to hit the 4-hour mark. I got to get these hours up, this, that, or the other. So, you know, I just wanted to say, honest, since I got you on here, I do appreciate that. And,
thank you.
Yeah, man, I love your content.
It's an honor to influence you. I am an influencer after all.
True. He's on TikTok.
Thank you, seriously. Sorry, I'm not good at receiving compliments, but I do appreciate it more than you know. Yeah, I really enjoy what you put out as well. I really I'm not good at storing information in my brain. So seeing somebody just play a game for 5 hours and just be like, yeah, here's the weird nuance of this part of the game. And also, did you know this? And I'm like, dude, this is so fucking, like, this is just interesting. Like, you just make it interesting to watch because you know so much. Like, it's really cool. It's like top 10 facts you didn't know, but it's like every time you play a game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So thank you. I'm glad you're having fun. It's part of the reason I do this.
Yeah, man. So. And you know, that's one of those things, like, to be a good streamer, you got to be charismatic, and that fun has to be infectious. And you got that in droves, man. I got to tell you. So I wouldn't be surprised. Thanks. I wouldn't be surprised if sometime here in the very near future, we see the verification symbol next to your name and we see partnered wood.
Sick. So. I will not wear the badge in any chat rooms, but you have to wear it on your channel. So
now maybe. Kiss. We're not. No, there will be no kissing on this stream. Oh God. Why did we both lead at the same time, dude? No. Our brains are becoming more degenerate as we speak.
Or?
Nah. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you coming on. You know, on a day that you also worked, I appreciate you, you know, giving me 2 hours of your time. It means a lot. And, you know, I'm just really happy to have kind of gotten to know you a little bit better, learn about your, you know, your past with your work and how you know, got into streaming. It's been a blast for me. So I hope you had fun. And
yeah, definitely.
And yeah, did you have anything you wanted to plug outside of your stream? Cause I'll link that stuff up and we'll get everybody over there if you're still going to be live.
Not really. I mean, I'm gonna do TikTok eventually and YouTube, whatever. Yeah, I gotta, you know what I mean? I want to grow.
You gotta diversify.
I gotta diversify. I'm very like, I want to be it's not how the world works. Unfortunately, it's not how online works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all my shit's linked in my about on my Twitch, I think. So, if anybody wants to follow, content on the way eventually.
Yeah, man. Pinned message at the top of the chat. Everybody drop him a follow if you're not already. I guarantee most of you are. And if you're not, it's time to do it. Drop it now. So drop that follow. All right, man. Well, I'll go ahead and hop off here. But again, have a great rest of your night. And I'm sure we'll be talking very soon. I'll shoot you a couple messages in Discord. And again, really appreciate you coming on. Had a great time.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Yeah, this was sick. This was fun.
All right, man.
I was a little nervous, but yeah, thank you.
No problem, man. You did great. We had a little bit of scuffed camera issues, but it always happens.
It worked out.
All right, man.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll see you.
All right. Bye.
What a nice young man. All right, guys. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that episode. I already said it to Josh several times, but I really appreciate him coming on. I know Wednesday is not the most ideal time for a podcast. So, I know it's a little bit rough, but, for the people that have come on and given me their time and really just kind of talked about, their life in depth and kind of put themselves out there a little bit, I respect that a lot because, I'm just a dude doing this. I mean, we started this show back in November of last year, I think very late November. So, it's not as if I have a whole ton of clout, to be asking people to give me that time. So, I just want to make sure that I reciprocate and, do what I can to make sure I'm asking good questions and that I'm being respectful and everything that I can to be a better interviewer. So every time I do the interviews, I get a little bit better. What's up, Dr. Red? Every time I do the interviews, I get a little bit better, a little bit more, in touch. And let me actually see if he's still live. We'll go ahead and wrap up here and we'll send him a little raid if he's still going to be live. Let's see. The stream title is on SH4. Are you fucking kidding me? Did I not update my stream title the whole time? All right, guys. Well, he's still live. I don't know how much longer he's going to be live. But for the time being, let's go hang out with the man, the myth, the legend. So again, appreciate everybody hanging out. That's going to do it for me. And I'm going to disappear into a cloud of Silent Hill fog in 3, 2, 1.